The best of the morning to you. This is Monday with Friday, preparing you for a better week ahead. Last week, I attended the annual General Council of the Baptist World Alliance, a gathering of 51 million Baptist Christians in 128 countries. Over 600 persons attended either virtually or in person at Samford University in Birmingham, Alabama, an appropriate location given the focus of the gathering this year, which is racial justice. Everyone knows Alabama's checkered history regarding racial justice, or injustice. It is the home of the 16th Avenue Baptist Church, where 4 young girls were murdered in a bombing in 1964. Samford's stately and strong brick walls and colonnades were laid, uplifted, and built by enslaved labor. The stench and stain of Bull Connor's dogs mauling black humans, the fire department's forceful hoses mowing down black humans, and Governor Wallace's fiery rhetoric and vicious policies violating black humans all remain. And neither time nor a black mayor currently is sufficient to erase those memories. Indeed, to forget these things is the objective of nobody who wants to aim at justice of any kind, let alone racial justice. Reports from the various regions of the Alliance reflected a world that groans with race and class injustice, whether the oppressive caste system in India, where Dalits are still viewed as a lesser type of human, or in Mexico, competing with Jamaica as the country with the largest number of churches per square mile, yet bemoaning a high degree of injustice, or in Myanmar, where Baptists and other Christians risk death for practicing their faith, or in Haiti, where a congregation suffered a mass kidnapping and murders, or in parts of Africa, where some churches were burned to the ground out of hate, or back in India, where the Prime Minister persecutes Christians and Muslims. Alan Bosak, that South African freedom and justice fighter and clergyman who served in Nelson Mandela's cabinet, gave an incisive interpretation that has always been sitting right under our noses of the restorative justice intrinsic to the story of the man named Zacchaeus, who did that restorative justice after encountering Jesus. Zacchaeus was a tax collector, a government operative, who became filthy rich through oppression and thievery. Now, he didn't just apologize, he gave away half his wealth and promised to repay anyone he robbed 4 times the amount he robbed them. Now, clearly, the size of wealth gained by oppression is much larger than we might think, and it can very well afford reparations. True religion never ends with only confession. It moves to repentance, an act more than simply the words of confession. It is an act of a complete turnaround, a reversal of behaviors. Epistrepho is the Greek, meaning I turn, and a reversal of the oppression and its consequences delivered to the oppressed in the past. True religion and true repentance cannot be devoid of reparations and restorative justice. No beneficiary of oppression, whether an individual, a family, their descendants, or a nation, has the right to tell the oppressed, still reeling from the consequences of that oppression, to move on, like a recent British Prime Minister told Jamaica. Or ask, as one member from the Global South, wherein the residue of impoverishment from slavery still prevails, did last week, saying, "But aren't we, the oppressed, obligated to give something to the beneficiaries instead of demanding something, the beneficiaries of our oppression demanding something from them?" What? I don't understand how this person doesn't see that the oppressed have already given everything. First, their ancestors' blood and lives, and second, their current patrimony, which is not in their hands, their share of the resources not in their hands, and the equity necessary for the common good. Happily, a resolution which affirmed the need for reparations and called on various Baptist entities worldwide who fit the description to study their oppressive history and explore ways to repair the damage thereof passed, though not unanimously. No surprise here. A black British leader recalled a 2007 visit to the British Baptists by Carl Henlin, the president of Jamaica Baptists, who called on the British to issue Jamaica an apology for their part in the transatlantic slave trade and slavery. The speaker said he thought the Jamaican was mad, but lived to see a delegation visit Jamaica a few years later bearing that very apology. Last week in Birmingham, Alabama, I saw people of all body types, all ethnicities, all colors of skin, all manner of clothing, all colors of clothing. And I heard a variety of languages and even theological positions on a variety of matters. I didn't hear arguments. Nevertheless, we were a single family despite our diversity. In fact, it is the affirmation of that diversity that enriches our worldwide family. The acceptance of diversity is the only way toward peace and the only way toward unity. The practice of restorative justice, the exercise of equity, the welcome of the other no matter how different to me, the accentuation of our commonalities, and the consistent view of the other not just as made in the image of God, but as part of my own humanity, which the South Africans call Ubuntu, are all the demand of diversity, of unity, of justice, and of peace, not only in our churches, not only across the religious divide, not only in nation building, but also in international relations across all of humanity. God help us if in our differences, we think ourselves better than the other, rather than as part of the big jigsaw puzzle with all the others with whom alone we could all be whole. I am Michael Friday, and your week just got better. I'll see you again next week. Happy Monday, all the way to Friday.